there will be elections in 29 states. Don't forget supplementary elections as well as area council elections in the FCT. But some of the states to watch, which we're keeping an eye on, here they are: Akwa Ibom, Benue, Ogun, Kwara, Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna, Lagos, Imo, and Rivers. We're keeping close attention to some of those states. But now, let's head to Imo for a start. And yes, we did get our correspondent earlier on, how he did tell us you have 5 key candidates who are leading on the poll, and that they're going to go ahead, head-to-head, trying to see how and who will rise and who will fall. It's going to be a very interesting one. Our correspondent, Tope Kuteyi, she'll be joining us soon to give us an update on what is going to happen in Rivers, but in Imo. But gentlemen, it's going to be some place to watch. Imo State has been that way because you have 5 big weeks from our reporter there, who said that those 5 are really, gathering the momentum. So one would expect, don't be surprised that nothing will eventually happen in Imo State, because these guys are the ones who have controlled politics over the past, since politics came back away from the advent of the military. And don't forget, the incumbent is not returning. No, he's not returning. He's going to. It's more interesting. He's going to the Senate, but he has put his weight fully back on Mr. Nwosu. So we're expecting to see something really dynamic happen. It will be dynamic, but it will be away from violence. That I can guarantee you.
The only thing that's touching for me that it's said in Africa that when 2 elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. Now we have 5 elephants. I really don't know what's going to happen to those, to the people in Imo State. So it's just a little bit of concern that I have. Let there be sufficient security for the lives and property of the ordinary citizen of Imo. All right, so, earlier we did get a sneak peek of what to expect in this stage, where 5 candidates will be heading to the poll. Let's get to our correspondent now, Tope Kuteyi, who joins us live from Owerri. Morning, Tope. Well, earlier we did hear you give us at least some to expect about those 5 candidates. But now, in terms of, look, have they put logistics and security in place? What's going on at the moment?
Good morning. As at Wednesday and Thursday, the INEC in Imo State was able to transport all the materials to the local government areas. And from the local government area, they are planning to move them to the registration area camps. And in Imo State, we have 27 local government area and 4,752 polling units. And when I spoke to the INEC PRO in Imo State this morning, he said by 3 to 4 p.m. from the local government, the materials will start moving to the racks to avoid what happened in the last election, that there were late arrival of materials. She said, hopefully, if these materials get to the racks early enough, the issue of late arrival of materials will be tackled.
Today, we understand, has been declared public holiday, even though I see some cars moving. And people were a little bit, I don't know, they were looking forward to this day. How are they handling the public holiday, particularly how they intend to conduct themselves ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah, people, it's a public holiday and most of the schools are closed. People are going around trying to do their last minute shopping, because from tomorrow morning 6 a.m. as usual, there will be no movement from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yesterday, the leadership of INEC in Imo State and the leadership of all the security operatives, they were in a strategic meeting for 2.5 hours, and after the meeting, they addressed the press. And the Commissioner of Police in Imo State says all the faults, all the issues raised during the last presidential and National Assembly elections have been looked into, the flashpoints have been looked into, and they will make amendments this weekend. And as usual, as of now, everywhere is peaceful, and the presence of security operatives across the state is evident.
Tope, let me follow up on that concerning security, because I mean, you know, initially when you had said earlier 5 candidates, the key candidates who were heading into the elections tomorrow, you know, if you multiply that by all of the supporters, the logistics, it's going to be a lot of security that they'll need to provide on the day. So the residents will be spoiled for choice, in the manner of speaking. But how is security at the moment now? Are there any reason for us to be concerned? How are they handling the whole security situation now?
Okay, you know, it's no longer news, as like I said earlier, that Imo is one of the flashpoints in this election due to the caliber of politicians contesting in this election. And definitely security is a concern for Imo electorates. As usual, the only place we could get that assurance from is from the security operatives, the head of security operatives in Imo State, Commissioner for Police. And like I said, all the flashpoints have been identified, all the mistakes in the last national, because definitely there were issues in the last presidential and National Assembly elections. Some returning officers were kidnapped, and maybe 2 hours after everything they were released. Some places they were ballot box snatching, and all. But like I said, these places have been identified, and all amendments have been taken. And in tomorrow's election, everything will go smoothly. As usual, like I said, Imo electorates are very concerned about security, and they are appealing to the security operatives in Imo State to ensure that this election is non-violent, free and fair. Just 2 days ago, the leadership of some religious leaders in the state had to pay a courtesy call on the resident electoral commissioner in Imo State and the commissioner of police, mentioning specifically that the political temperature in Imo is high right now, and they are appealing to them to ensure that this election is non-violent, and so that there won't be any shedding of blood and any chaos anywhere. So we are looking forward. It's a task for the security operatives, and we are looking forward that this election in Imo State, even as it's a flashpoint, it will be peaceful.
Yes, Tope, but you know, speaking about the umpire, the electoral officer, when you said that some of them were kidnapped, were eventually released, that has the potential of, you know, dampening their psychological makeup, affecting them. But what sense do you get from INEC in terms of how ready they are? Do they sound intimidated? What's their impression of how they intend to conduct themselves? Are they all ready to go out tomorrow?
Yeah, there's been series of briefings by the resident electoral commissioner in Imo State, Professor Francis Ezeonu, and immediately after the primary presidential and National Assembly election, he noted that most of the ad hoc staff and even some INEC officials have raised fears that they might not want to even participate again in Saturday's election, considering Imo State's peculiarity. But oftentimes from then he's been speaking to them, trying to raise their confidence and tell them that with the assurance from the security operatives, everything will be okay. And that's why yesterday a strategic meeting between both parties, I mean the INEC and security, lasted for 2.5 hours, and these were the issues raised. And after speaking to the press, the INEC and security also spoke with the INEC officials, assuring them of their safety. And they also mentioned that unlike last election, that everywhere the INEC officials and the ad hoc staff are moving, there will be adequate security for them. I think with this, it's enough assurance for the INEC officials and the ad hoc staff.
All right, Tope. Yes, indeed, we appreciate but just let them know that we're keeping an eye on all of them, so that they can conduct themselves.
Yeah, we'll keep you up to speed with events around here. Thank you.
All right, indeed, our correspondent Tope Kutei coming to us live from Owerri.